100 days, 100 movies, day 11. Today I'm doing Drunken Master. Kind of falling back a couple days ago, I did Enter the Dragon. They're very similar movies in a lot of ways. They're both like action kung fu movies, which was pretty popular in Hollywood around this time. This is a foreign film. This wasn't made in Hollywood, to my knowledge. So sadly, I had to watch it dubbed on Prime because they did not have the original language, and the dub is horrendous. Do not watch this movie dubbed if you have any say in the matter. But yeah, I really liked it. I think I liked this movie a little more than most other people would like it because I really like the style that it's going for. And I think the choreography overall for all the fights is like top notch. It's very Jackie Chan, and it's very fun. So just a quick synopsis. Basically, this like absolute shithead of a kung fu student is disowned by his father after a series of unlucky and problematic events. Like, he assaults his cousin and then his aunt like beats him up. It's weird. And they like breaks every bone in this guy's body because he doesn't give this guy $10. I found that funny. I don't think the translation was correct in the money, but still. Then the father asks the Kung Fu Master to teach his son the special techniques of the Drunken Gods, which he uses to redeem himself and save his father's life. Yeah, it's a very simple story. It kind of doesn't make sense up until like the halfway point. You kind of like have to piece it together. The dub especially doesn't really, I don't think it correctly like says what's happening because the subtitles were pretty off from what they were saying. But overall, it wasn't terrible. I was able to follow it, but it just was like, the first half of the film felt like it had no direction, and that kind of just comes together when he meets Thunderfoot, and then he starts his training arc, which is the whole second part of the film is about. My likes, the choreography in this film is so good. I love it so much. Like how all the fights are, how they use all the things in their environment. That's like Jackie Chan's style. Like all the fights, he uses everything around him, and it's like he uses the props in really fun ways. Like he's hitting this guy with the cucumbers, he's like hitting him a bunch. It's very fun. I love it. The energy is just through the roof. I love how crazy it is and how off the walls it gets. Like they're not afraid to make it a little wacky and like kind of break reality for a bit just for a goofy gag when it comes to the combat. It's a comedy. It's a kung fu comedy. It's not supposed to be a serious film, so the fighting is not serious. It's very stupid. There's such a style to this movie throughout it, even before the whole drunken fighting thing. There's just the movie has this clear sense of like comedic, lighthearted nature that you don't get from any other things. Like Enter the Dragon was pretty serious. It was taking itself kind of seriously a lot of the times. The fights had huge stakes and stuff like that. This one they fight just to fight, and it's kind of funny. The dialogue is super goofy. Again, I'm not sure if that's the dub being bad or if that's how it's intentionally written. But they say some really weird stuff. Like, right before the final, like, battle, the main character, played by Jackie Chan, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. It's like Wong Che-fung or something like that. He says, like, that's a lot coming from a guy who's not going to have a body to go with his ass, or something like that, or not have an ass to go with his body. And that's just a really odd thing to say. I think translation got messed up there, but still. So yeah, dislikes, I said this before, but the first like half of the film kind of has no direction. Like you don't really know what's going on. It's not until he like fights like Thunderfoot and gets his ass kicked that he starts to actually want to train, and that's when the movie kind of comes into itself. But before that point, it's like you don't really know what's happening, and it kind of doesn't work that well. The final battle goes on for so long as he goes through each one of the 8 gods' fighting styles. And like 4 of which don't even work. He keeps getting the shit beaten out of him. Like in the fight, he's like losing for most of it, and it's kind of funny. But then at the end, he like comes together and he like uses all of them in unison, and then he beats the guy. Also, this is just a quick thing. I love how abruptly it ends. Like he beats the guy. It's how Karate Kid ends. He beats the guy, and then he's like the master's like, you did it, and then it's just the end. And there's no like third act really. Like the third act is the fight. Like it hits climax, and then there is like a solid 4 seconds of revolution. Oh my god. And there's a solid like 4 seconds of resolution. But yeah, overall, I just talked about Karate Kid because this movie is just straight up the Karate Kid when you really get down to it. So basically, I mean, if you compare them, it's very similar. This guy, not so great martial arts student, gets in trouble and gets saved by this like master who's gonna teach him these crazy unconventional techniques, and he proceeds to learn all these learn through these unconventional teaching styles that he doesn't really fully understand until it's explained to him. And then he beats the bad bully guy at the end using an unconventional style that is taught to him by the master. So yeah, I honestly had a lot of similarities to Karate Kid in that kind of formulaic, like, oh, you're learning stuff in a weird way, but it will pay off, trust me. That kind of thing. I think this is the first film that used that. This is 1978. I think this is the first film that did that, which is pretty funny. And that trope's been used to death by now, so it's kind of interesting to see that this movie's kind of the one that kickstarted it. Also, this is definitely the movie that like popularized the whole like drunken master fighting thing, because like I've seen this in multiple forms of media. It's even in Dungeons and Dragons, the whole drunken master, you fight without, like, you make yourself seem like you're not that strong by like staggering around and stuff, but then you kind of like have quick explosive movements that cause damage or indirectly harm people. And that's this entire movie, the whole fighting thing for like the final thing. That's what it is. It's like this like weird staggering thing. And I think it's portrayed really interestingly. And if you've seen Forbidden Kingdom, Jackie Chan plays a Drunken Master character in that too. So I think that's just an homage to this. Also, there is a second one. And from what I've seen, it's actually better than the first. It came out 22 years later. So Jackie Chan's like 45, I think, in the second one. This is like the beginning of Jackie Chan's career. Like, he's young in this one. Like, he's a child. Speaking of childness, the protagonist is just straight up like not likable. Like, he's an absolute like dickhead. Like, he's an absolute like like he sucks. Like, he goes back on his own word. Like, he'll be like, oh, give the money back, I won't let you, like, you need to give the money. You think, oh, maybe he has some values, but then he'll proceed to try to steal from a restaurant, and he breaks that whole thing. He's about to walk out, he's about to dine and dash for $2. Like he's not a good guy, and so therefore you don't have much emotional connection to him. But then again, it's more of a comedy, so it ends up working. So when he's getting the shit kicked out of him, you're kind of like laughing, because yeah, this is a goofball who kind of deserves this, but at the end of the day, he still wins, and that still feels deserved, because the person he's fighting is much worse than him. So I think it does hit that good blend of comedy mixed with like thematic weight, where he's like actually fighting for a good deed, but he's also just kind of this piece of shit, and he kind of sucks, and he's fighting the guy, he's not taking it seriously, and he's like fighting for his father's life, and he's like not taking it seriously at all. So I found that really funny. So yeah, I really like this movie. My favorite scene is definitely when he first learns the 8 Drunken Gods technique, and he uses it against the Bamboo King. And it's like he's fighting him, and he steals his staff and then gives it back to him. Just the whole way that entire fight like plays out is just super fun, when he's like using the chair to like bounce him around. Just I really like that fight, and I thought that like that kind of encapsulates what makes this film so fun, with like the choreography of the fighting and stuff like that, and how the entire film kind of works together. So yeah, I really like Drunken Master. Definitely one of my, like, I would say this is probably my favorite film I've seen so far, which is that's kind of saying a lot. So yeah, I mean, if that's what I'm saying, then that's pretty obvious what the rating is. It's a 9 out of 10. I really liked it. I would put it a little above Enter the Dragon. I feel like that's a little controversial, but I just really liked this movie. I thought it was super fun. I would watch this again 100%. Really funny. Like it just radiates that iconicness and classic like nature that Enter the Dragon had, but I think it does it in a more stylistic way that makes it honestly a little higher in my book. This was right down my alley, so this is a good suggestion by Yusuf. He suggested both my least favorite movie thus far and my favorite movie thus far. So yeah, I really like Drunken Master. I thought it was a really fun movie. It does not take itself seriously, and that's what makes it so good. And it is, I think this definitely inspired a lot of films like afterwards, especially with the whole Drunken Master thing and the Karate Kid style teaching, where it's like you learn things unconventionally and you don't know what they mean until they like tell you later. So yeah, that's Drunken Master. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm a little tired. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.